is your destination for the day's best sports shows. Tune in for the biggest personalities on the biggest stories, and don't miss us on The Herd weekdays at 12 Eastern. Catch it all right here Monday through Friday on FS1.
Bruins Winnipeg Jets tonight. Discover card key matchup. Free credit scorecard today. Get it even if you're not a Discover customer. Won't affect your credit score. Learn more. Discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. One of the few guys out there I trust. We bring him on the show regularly. It's Chris Haynes, senior inside guy, Yahoo Sports. Been covering the NBA for a long time. Let's get to it. First of all, the Pelicans, I've been told by somebody I trust, are not in the greatest mood, are not going to help the Lakers out. They feel manipulated. They're mad at LeBron. They're mad at Clutch Sports. So I am told they're going to make sure the Lakers feel a little pain too. Does that inhibit the trade? Do you believe the trade gets done in the next 10 days?
It gets done, meaning it gets done and him going to L.A.?
Yes.
I don't see that right now. I don't see that. I mean, if you look at their statement, they're still on the league about looking into tampering charges.
Right.
And so there's bad blood.
Bad blood.
And I was talking with somebody early in this before I got on. They brought up Greg Popovich, how he was not going to trade Kawhi to the Lakers. And I said, this is different. So I said, it's a little bit deeper even than that.
Yeah.
And so from that mindset right now, I do not see a way, what you talking about 10 days, that the Pelicans do a deal that will send AD over to the Lakers. I just don't see that happen. And I don't know if the league is going to let that happen right now.
It wouldn't look good? Why wouldn't they do it?
It wouldn't look good because, look, obviously the league is investigating right now those charges. I know they reached out to
tampering charges.
Tampering charge. I know they reached out to Rich Paul yesterday to interview him. And so this is something the league is not. And it's funny, Colin, because players, I get the point of it. Players have always for years talked about playing with other guys.
Sure.
It's never been an issue before. But now, all of a sudden, it's become an issue. Now players aren't allowed to do that. Usually it's just coaches and management. But now it's an issue when it involves LeBron and potentially another superstar going over there. So this is that. For a lot of those reasons alone, Colin, I just don't see that deal getting done right now.
Are we sure that Anthony Davis and LeBron will click? I've seen LeBron with bigs, Chris.
I heard what you had to say.
I've seen it.
I've heard it.
And they become stretch fours.
Yeah. And
he frustrates the you-know-what out of bigs. He always works with shooters.
Yes, he
That's
does.
why I've always said, give me Bradley Beal. He'd be great with Bradley Beal, who I think is totally underrated in this league. Are we sure it's going to work with AD?
Look, I will say this. I heard you mention Kevin Love and Chris Bosh before. Those guys are not on AD's level, Colin. I will say that. And AD is 25. If Anthony Davis came over to the Lakers, if they found a way to make it happen, LeBron would pass the keys to Anthony Davis. LeBron will play second fiddle to Anthony Davis.
You right? A day one? He hasn't established himself in L.A. yet.
I understand, but I believe LeBron would hand over the keys. If not by day one, at some point during the season. Similar to what, Wade did with Bron.
Okay, let's address the Kyrie Irving rumors that he would join LeBron. You've talked to Kyrie through the years. You know him. Yeah. What's up with that?
Look, I'm not ready to put something out like that saying that he would join LeBron in L.A., but I was told, and I reported that, for Yahoo yesterday, that one of the reasons why Anthony Davis doesn't have Celtics as a high preference is because there are rumors circulating that it may not be a done deal with Kyrie resigning back in Boston. And I'm not saying Kyrie's not going to do that. We know he vowed to do so before the season.
Right.
But those are some of the things, the factors that's weighing in on Anthony Davis's decision-making process when he's trying to think about where's his next destination. And so that's just where his mindset is right now. And so I don't know. But I know the New York Knicks, the Los Angeles Lakers, they're going to be knocking on his door day one, Kyrie Irving that is, trying to lure him away from the Boston Celtics.
Woj, a guy we both know, reported that Klay Thompson, if Anthony Davis came to the Lakers, Klay Thompson would be willing to consider the Lakers. What do we know on that? Another guy I like a lot, a two-way player, not a huge ego. I think he could easily move into a Laker-LeBron situation and not have to be the guy. His dad, Michael Thompson's wildly popular in L.A.
If Golden State doesn't present that max offer sheet to Klay. With or without AD, the Lakers will be an option. That's the simple fact of the matter right
He's
there.
not taking a discount in Golden State.
I don't see it. Like Klay and KD, their deals should be done right at July 1. Throw the max at them. That's it. If you want to play with any of those two, that's where I think Golden State can get in trouble. And they couldn't afford to play that game right now, trying to go into that brand new Chase Center that's opening up next season in San Francisco. They want that whole team intact for ticket sales and the ticket price hikes that's going to be in place. So they can't afford to mess around.
I have always been, because I've moved in my career, and I'd be a hypocrite if I wasn't pro player. I've always been for Kevin Durant and LeBron moving. I've moved in my career. I think, and I can broadcast for 30 years. They can play for 12 generally. And I think it's a new millennial thing. I was saying this earlier. Millennials, 23 to 38. They joined forces in AAU. 3 best high schoolers went to Duke. This is the new world we live in. I have no problem with Anthony Davis saying, listen, New Orleans is an NFL city and not an NBA city.
Yeah.
You talk to these players. I've never had a problem with KD, LeBron. And I didn't think D-Wade going to Chicago was smart. Didn't have a problem with it. I just thought stay in Miami, Aqua Water, Pat Riley. But when you talk to these players, what do they make of the movement stuff?
A lot of them, some players, feel like the odds are stacked against them. But for the most part, players just want, the freedom to move and to play wherever they want to play. And I will say this, and I think the reason for that, I fall in that, I'm 37, so I fall in that millennial category. I think the reason why players are stacking up, and they're not doing it early in their career, they're doing it as, later as the season progresses if they don't got a championship, is that they see how much criticism a lot of those players, great players. When you talk about Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone,
no titles.
John Stockton, no title. But those are some of the greatest players to ever play this game of basketball. But what we know them for coming up short. We know them from not having a title. So their legacy is forever staying. And that's unfair. And so a lot of these players are looking at that and saying, man, hold on. I can't just be great. Because my legacy, especially in social media day and YouTube and all that stuff, like I would be ripped to shreds when my career is over with highlights and clips of me never, winning the whole thing. So I think that's why it's a lot of pressure on these guys to make sure, especially when it gets to the latter part of their career, that they do at least give themselves a chance to get a championship.
Chris Haynes, Yahoo Sports. Here's where you and I are going to disagree. Is that if I wanted a piece of oceanfront property, I'm not giving you all the rest of my properties to get it, even though I love it. Everything's got value. That's true. What was it, Jay-Z that said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman? Okay, the Lakers draft Kyle Kuzma. They draft Lonzo. They draft Josh Hart. They develop him. They coach him. Okay, they put a lot of time in this. I'm going to give you everything for AD? Because, by the way, if I have AD and LeBron need shooters, I want to keep Josh Hart. I may have to trade Lonzo 4 months later to get another shooter. I saw when they traded everything in New York for Melo. And Melo sat there as a big chandelier and said, there's nowhere to sleep. I got no couch. I got no furniture. I don't buy this give everything for AD.
Well, okay. I say give everything, include Kareem, include James Worthy, throw them all in there. Like this is a look. They wouldn't have went after LeBron James if they weren't committed to bringing a championship contending team like instantly, ASAP. This is a small window you have. And so when you're talking about Josh Hart, I love Josh Hart. But you can find a lot of spot-up shooters, like real gritty, defensive type players out there to supplement that. So, man, I think they gotta do all they can to bring AD on board and get this show rocking ASAP.
Inertia, create momentum, create inertia.
Yeah, create it. And once you do, just like with New York, they're going to do a similar thing. They're going after Anthony Davis. And if if New York gets AD, you don't think Kemba's going to look over there? You don't think Kyrie's going to look over there? And so all of a sudden, New York becomes a force. And so that's why you got to go now. Go while the getting is good, Colin.
So Chris, you don't believe it'll happen by the trading deadline. Your belief is the NBA is not going to make they'd like to put the brakes on this a little. By the way, they already pumped the brakes and wouldn't let a Chris Paul to the Lakers go.
Yeah.
I mean, people in LA going to be very sensitive. New Orleans thinks nobody likes him. LA had Chris Paul. He ended up going playing for the Clippers. Now you're not going to let us have Anthony Davis?
And I don't think necessarily it'll be all on the NBA preventing this, but I do think that the Pelicans, just for their own keepings business-wise, they're best probably to do business over the summer when Boston is able to join.
Oh, no. From the Pelicans, I agree.
Pelicans, yeah.
But here's what I've been told. Pelicans are ticked off, and they're going to make the Lakers feel some pain. Mm-hmm. But if I'm Magic and Rob Pelinka, I don't want Boston. I don't want to go asset for asset.
And that's why I'm saying, Colin, Lakers got to throw everything out right now.
Where are you going to sit on the couch? Not going to have any couches?
Hey, you figure it out later. You figure, the Goodwill, you can find a lot of good stuff at the Goodwill. You bring on some supplemental players, bring on some G League, you can find, for at the time being, you can find LeBron has made a career out of bringing out the best of marginalized players. They can do it again.
So you'd be the GM. You just get you'd overpay for the Jag in the driveway. Then you go to Goodwill.
Get the accessories, yes.
Great seeing you, buddy.
Thanks, Colin.
Chris Haynes, Yahoo Sports. Read his stuff. Joy Taylor with the news.
No.